Hello, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to My Two Cents. I'm glad to see you today. We haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. And we are here to talk about my last show on Autumn is Here. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's okay. It is, you can see it after this. That's fine. Brooklyn Org is who we had a privilege of speaking to. It's an organization in Brooklyn that has a platform for and partners for local philanthropy, and it brings together Brooklynites to champion for their neighborhood. So it's really nice that they had a chance. I had a chance to speak to them, and also they also incorporate some of the older people, the aging people. So it's great to see that, to be able to see that they allow them to do advising. So if you haven't looked at the show, please look at the show and you'll get some information. Maybe you can use the information. Maybe you have a grassroots organization or an idea that you're working on. They may help you fund it when they have like they have the applications. They may help you fund it. So that would be great. That would be great. So please do that. Y'all know that I'm here. Autumn is here to give information for caregivers and support for that, and also support for seniors. And one of the things that Brooklyn Orgs does is that they allow the seniors to be advisors, which is really good. So I'm very good to hear that, because the people in Brooklyn know their community. So they have people who are seniors in and some young people. They have them, and they pick who is going to get the actual award. So it's great, and some people don't get it, and they have some no's, but they also have a lot of yeses. So and some very original things, you know. So it's really good that they allow people to participate and allow the seniors to say something about their community, you know. So I'm very glad to hold on. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem with my Instagram for some reason, but okay. But I'm very glad to see y'all tonight, and we can talk about that. If you've seen the show, if you haven't, I'll tell you a little bit about it. Hi, Jakai, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. Applebee's, hi. Hello, everyone. Everybody knows it's Franklin. Hi, Evelyn. Hello, everyone. Hi, Lizette. Hi. Thank you. Lizette saw the show. She said it's a good show. It's a good show. Hey, hey, Raven. What's the name of the organization? The organization is Brooklyn Org, not .org, Brooklyn Org. And it's good if you know somebody who's struggling with their organization or grassroots thing, somebody's doing something in the community. Uh, let them know about them. It's really good to be able to know that there's somebody who's there who's helping these organizations. And some of the things are interesting, very interesting. They have some organizations who they mentioned was fighting for in the courts for when people um, they are assigned a grantee. You know how what happened with Wendy Williams. Uh, when if you don't have anybody that you have selected or to take care of your business and stuff like that, and if you're unable to do it, the courts are allowed to legally assign someone that you may not even know to handle your business for you. And there are people who are fighting that law, that's not fair. You know what I mean? So there are people who use the grants for that. You know, there are people who, you know, there's a whole thing, and I'm so sorry I missed it this weekend. They were going around to some of the people, some of the organizations that they've awarded grants to, and some of the grassroots community, and they were going around and they were looking at what they do and their progress and stuff like that. And one of the places they were talking about was somewhere in Bushwick, where they it's a whole thing about collecting the cans and the bottles and the plastic. He said it's a whole thing, and I really wanted to go with them just to see what that was about, and how big this project was, because people are doing that. You know, we may not, some of us may not think anything of it, but that's a big deal. You know, so, and it helps a lot of people. So I just I like that they're innovative, and they're not afraid to take a chance on people who are not doing the typical thing. You know what I mean? That's something that I really like about it. So if you saw the show, you would know that you know they're open to different ideas and different things. Hi Sonia, thank you for joining me. I appreciate that. I hope some of you have saw the show. Lizette saw the show. She said it was a good show. That's great. I want people to share it. to share it with other people. One of the things I like also is because they incorporate the seniors in it is that people kind of think that seniors don't have anything to give. You know what I'm saying? They've already worked, they already did whatever, they should be just sitting back relaxing. But these seniors, they had to actually apply, and they had to, after they applied, they actually got trained on doing it. So they were working. They had to, you couldn't just come up and say I want to be a part of it. You had to prove that you had the qualifications that they needed to be someone who would select good for your community, for Brooklyn. So they did that, and I love that because we spoke to Miss Joanna Bennett, and she was, very glad that she had that experience. She was able to be involved in and be an advisor. So that was really good, and we need to continue to keep our seniors, active, and not just something very simple, but something that really takes some thought, some wisdom, some care, some concern. They can still do things. So I love that Brooklyn Org reaches out to them and allows them to do that. They were very they're very innovative in what they do. So I like that. I didn't know of them before, but also they are responsible for me working for Caring Kind, because they had given Caring Kind an award, and they were able to hire me to get the word out to Brooklyn about Caring Kind. So that's also one of the benefits that they did. So I really enjoyed that they're not only helping the community, but they're helping to get different things into the community, because like Caring Kind was not people were not aware of Caring Kind out here or in a vast number. So that's good, and that's what's something I'm working on. We're going to actually have an event on June 7th. So I'm just letting everybody know, June 7th at Cornerstone Baptist Church, we're going to have an event about dementia, caregiving, and community. So put that on your calendar. And we're working on that just to get the word out. Raven says seniors have life experience, and it's good they can partake in their own neighborhood. Yes, see, that's what I like. I like that the seniors, we can't write them off, because some of the things that they know, we don't know, and it could help us. Life changes, but there's some things that don't change. Some ways of doing things, some experience, some knowledge that they can give us that can help us to be able to make a decision, or do something better, or together we can do even more. So I love that they participate in that, and they encourage the seniors to be a part of it, and they want to do something. You know what I mean? The seniors want to do something. So this is good, and this is something important. Can you imagine just doing something and be responsible for these things in your neighborhood? It's something important. It's good for them to participate in. So it's really good. But yeah, they've been around for a little while. They are, I believe it was Brooklyn Community that they are part of. They are part of that. But these last couple of years, they said that they got a grant. I believe it's an endowment. A couple of nursing homes had closed, and the money that they have for that has to be put into the neighborhood, and put into the neighborhood something that's similar to what was used, and it was used for seniors. So that's part of how they're able to include the seniors in there. So I don't know. Did anybody else see the show? Does anybody else have any questions about Brooklyn Org? If you have any questions about them, you can go online and search. They have a lot of activities. Their office is right downtown on Hanson Street, so they are in Brooklyn, here serving Brooklyn, and they have like under the other organization, they had like 15 years. It was 15 years around, but I think they've been actually Brooklyn Org specifically for a few years. So they actually are open to different things. So if you do have something, please look and suggest stuff. Some things you can suggest stuff for them. They say individuals and groups. So you might have something privately or something like that, and they might be able to help you out. And they network. So if you do have some kind of organization and things like that, you can network with them. They have a lot of different things that they do. during the weeks and stuff like that that you can be a part of. They could network. It's a good way to learn and meet people in Brooklyn, people that are doing things. Some people that might be doing similar things that you're doing. It's nonprofit, so if you want to go around and just see what the community is doing, go to one of the events. Sometimes they have mixers and things like that. They do crowdfunding and stuff like that. So just be aware of that. If you want to participate or if you want to help them, if you enjoyed the podcast, you might want to help them. So they do different things like that. And annually they partner with different people. They collaborate with different people. So they also, they help out other organizations, some that are established. But if they're doing something that's good for the community, they also work and they help out. They help out other organizations. So I really appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to say about Brooklyn Org? I really want to speak to them because of their because they also have a connection to me because of me working with Caring Kind, but also because of the seniors that they work with. And I'm very glad that they were able to help me to work with Brooklyn, to work with Caring Kind, because I can bring something to Brooklyn with seniors and caregiving. And, that's my thing with Autumn is Here. Support caregivers and seniors, and wanted to give information and things like that. And I want to do it a little differently too. Sometimes there are things that I see that we don't have. The thing on June 7th is the event. We want to try to bring churches together to support this. June 7th. We want to bring people together to support this. It's a Saturday. And we want to do that, like bring faith-based church, organizations together. We want to ask them to bring a group, bring 5, 10, 4 people. I don't care, but I want more than one person. I don't want just a representative. I want all the churches in Brooklyn. We should be able to have a decent amount of people to come and talk about caregiving. Caregiving is so important. And caregiving is something that we kind of gloss over. Some people know because they were in that experience. Some people don't know. And I want the churches to be able to be involved in that, because there are members in their church that are caregivers that need support, that people don't know, or people just assume, okay, they take care of dad, they take care, okay, and it's just something that people do, and it's really difficult. And I want to bring that to the table, that people take it seriously, and let the churches know that they can help. They can do things that can help them. Also, for the seniors in their community, and of course, some churches do things in the seniors in their community, but with dementia, sometimes it's more difficult to recognize. Sometimes it's more difficult. What do you do? Some people don't even know what to do, and there's some things that the churches can do to help their people in their congregation that may have dementia, and they may have people in their congregation that actually work in the healthcare field that don't know that these people are suffering with dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. And maybe the person doesn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So if you recognize it, you may be able to help somebody else. Or if you're, in a church setting, because the seniors they still go in a church, and in a church setting, you may notice something. If you notice something, it would be good to be more proactive as a church to say something about it. There are things that I want to suggest for them to do that will help them to be more comfortable in church, because that's church is their home. So if they have a problem focusing and stuff like that, make sure you have an organization. It doesn't have to be 30 people. It could be like 4 people that is the organization, or the people that are appointed to make sure they understand what's going on with this person who has dementia or showing early dementia, whatever. And they watch them, they be their partner. If they come to church and they come by themselves, or they don't come with a caregiver, something like that, maybe they sit by them. Maybe they help them in following along in the Bible, with the Bible and stuff like that, or with the scriptures, maybe because they may get confused. Maybe they may not understand what you're saying. Somebody to sit with them. Somebody to make sure when they go out to the bathroom, whatever. Some of these churches are big, especially in Brooklyn, and we have all kinds of places. If somebody has a little dementia, whatever, they can get turned around in a building. So there's things that I would like the churches to be aware of, to make sure that they include them and assist them. be of some assistance to them. So these are things that I want to bring to the attention of the churches on June 7th with these things. We're going to have something made up to give out to them. So some suggestions, and it's probably something that people just don't think about. People grow old, they forget. Well, maybe there's a reason why they forget. Maybe they haven't even gone to the doctor. Maybe they don't know that they're going through it. So if you pinpoint it, I want people to have more eyes on it so they can help them before it's too late. Before they've lost their house because they made a bad decision, or whatever. Know that they have people or they don't have people. So he just said Raven Conrad is right. Make them feel included. Yes, make the seniors feel included. We're all going to be seniors someday, some sooner than others. But yes, make them feel included. Make them feel included. That it's important. I know I want to be included. I know I'm going to be. I don't want to sit home and be bored. Okay, people are living to 90. So as long as I'm healthy, I want to do something. So, and don't underestimate them. And that's a lot. We underestimate our aging people. We underestimate them. That like they can't do it. We have a friend of ours, someone I interviewed, and her grandmother's like 90, and she's cutting collard greens. She's getting her making her bed. She's doing her hair. She's so they still have life in them. They have something to do, and we want people to encourage them not only in the house but outside the house. And that's why I say the churches, because that's important. That's so important to the aging community. So I want the churches to be aware how they can make them more comfortable, or how they can make them more safe. If they're aware of it, they may do something. They may be able to get in touch with their family members and say what you noticed and what you didn't notice, or or ask some questions. I want them to be comfortable, and I also want the seniors to be comfortable to come to this particular group that the church is assigned to. If they feel like they're having an off day, to go to them and say, yeah, I don't really understand. got turned around, a little dizzy, whatever. Or, I want them to be comfortable. So I want churches to kind of organize this, not take it very lightly, but to organize this and have a pinpoint person for them to be able to go to for help. Because if you make them feel comfortable, they'll come to you and they'll tell you. If you don't make them feel comfortable and they think they're doing something, they're going to feel uncomfortable, and they're not going to say anything. They're going to go back home and things are not going to be good. And, and people notice you after you miss church like 3 times. Well, in 3 weeks, anything can happen. So that's really important to me. So if you haven't seen the show, please look at the show. We interviewed Sabrina Hargrave from Brooklyn Org and Joanna Bennett from Brooklyn Org. And they were both wonderful, giving very good explanations about Brooklyn Org. Sabrina Hargrave has worked there for quite some time, and she was in charge of, I believe they had a specific aging program, and she was in charge of that. So she was able to give us some insight in that, and Joanna was able to give us some insight in being an advisor and also in the community, and she actually was also a caregiver to her mother. So it was very interesting. It was a very good interview with them, and I really appreciate them coming on. So if you haven't seen it, please look at it. Autumn is here. I do a show for just giving information, and I try to just be there to be a platform for caregivers also. It's very important. That's very important. People who are caregivers who tell their story feel really good about their story afterwards, and it's really rewarding. It's really rewarding. So if anybody doesn't have any more questions, I will just thank you all for being here and coming on tonight for Brooklyn Org. I'm not sure. I have a class that I'm taking on Thursday, so I'm not sure that I'll be able to do this for the next 4 weeks. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't want to miss any shows that it's kind of feel unfair with people who are on my show, and not to be able to talk about the show in case anybody has any questions or have comments about it. So I'm trying to figure that out, how maybe I'll double up and talk about more than one show on one evening or something like that. I'm not sure. The classes are on Thursday, so I'm not sure how I'm going to work that out for the next 4 weeks. But I will let you know. I will let you know. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you staying with me. Even though I had a couple of weeks break, I appreciate that. If I do a show on Autumn is Here and it's just me, I'm not going to have my 2 cents because I've already given my 2 cents. Okay, but and when I interview people, I will have my show on my 2 cents. Okay, so just make sure to look out for that. I'll send you something. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the next 4 weeks because I did join a writing class, so I want to do that, and I don't think I can get home in time to get online, and that's the only reason. But I will try to do something where I'll double up shows, and maybe I'll do that for if that works out. That might be better to kind of double up on shows, but I don't want to cheat the next few people that I'm interviewing. So I will be on talking about this show. Okay, so thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember Autumn is Here. Please check it out. Even shows that you missed, go back to and look at them. Go back to them. Okay. All right. Thank you. I really appreciate your time this evening. Good night, everyone.